Josh Quintal, Head of Product and Marketing here at Truffle. I've got some very exciting updates to share with you today that are going to help improve all of Truffle's products. I'm really excited to talk to you today. So I'm just going to get right into it. People love our design. But don't take my word for it. Here are a couple glowing quotes we've assembled from around the web. I particularly like the second one there. That's from Reddit JavaScript, someone saying, it could be the sole reason for them wanting to go into blockchain development. So despite all this, you'll be surprised to hear me say, we have a problem. Truffle's growing. We're growing in staff. We have more designers and developers than ever touching our code, the designs and the UX. We're also growing in number of products. It's not just Ganache UI anymore. It's not just the website, it's Truffle Teams and beyond. To that end, we needed a consistent way for us to be able to collaborate, not only internally to talk about these patterns, but also to collaborate with you in the community. Currently, if you wanted to make a UI or a UX, or raise a UX issue, or make an improvement, you're left to go to one of the various repos that belong to that product. You're going to Ganache, you're going to the Teams repo. We wanted a more consistent way, or an easier way, really, for users to be able to do that. And so to that end, I am proud to announce here that we are starting a design system, and we call it theobromine. So I hear some laughs, so some of you already know where this is going, but theobromine is a molecular component of tea and cola, but most importantly, of chocolate. And so, much like a molecule is one small part of a much larger whole, the theobromine design system is composed of many different pieces that will help improve our products, from colors, UX patterns, components, all the way up to pages and templates. Here's a little preview of it. Here's Ganache and Truffle Teams. You can see we've got a more consistent UI experience here. But before I dive into all the various benefits internally and externally of the system, I want to talk about a very important aspect of it. So in the blockchain community, we talk a lot about helping others. We talk about banking the unbanked. We talk about verifiable distribution of aid, things like that. And a place where I think we can all help is in accessibility. And with that in mind, theobromine is built to be accessibility first. So it follows web content accessibility guidelines for contrast across all of its components. We're using area roles and properties where necessary. We're even building it in such a way that we'll receive warnings if we're not applying correct area attributes to our components. We're testing it with JAWS Inspect and NV Access, which are the number 1 and 2 screen readers on the market. And we're aiming for Section 508 compliance. We're not there yet. It's a pretty large set of requirements. And to reiterate, for the blockchain communities to succeed, we need to include all humans. What good is verifying data if I'm not able to access or consume that data to verify, right? So very important. That was awesome to hear everyone clap for that. But beyond that, this helps us internally in your user experience by having consistent component actions, colors, buttons always doing what you expect, tabs doing what you expect. As an example of an improvement, currently some of our hover states and activated states are the same, and there's, we're kind of reducing those chances for friction and confusion throughout our UI. A few other examples there. I mentioned line graphs, using exact values. In fact, we already use that internally. You saw that the graph Tim had up on here was, somewhat jagged because we think the specificity there is more valuable than a smooth curve. On the flexibility angle, we have spent a very long time. If you were at my workshop yesterday, we focused a lot on color. And the color is one of the foundational components of a design system. It's very important. It's one of those things, if you don't get it right, it can be difficult to change later. And so we have a fully brightness balanced color palette, and you'll be able to swap in and out any of the colors we've chosen to perhaps fit your UI. And the CSS is utility first. So If you don't like what we've built, we're not going to push styling on you, but if you want like the accessibility benefits and things like that, it's going to be very easy to bring your own components and bring your own stuff up. And then finally, the warmth, right? Like the Truffle messaging and tone. This is more of an internal thing, but we always strive to have very friendly messaging, and that applies even to the user experience, right? So they're developers or people too. I love that our UX lead Shay mentioned this to me, and I think sometimes we're developers developing for other devs, and so there's this shared knowledge we can kind of fall back on, but we really want to strive to keep the experience friendly and not like rest on the fact that maybe you'll know what certain concepts are. There's also going to be a dark theme, so you can see here another much love for the dark theme personally as well. And to that end, theobromine is going to be open source. We're in the very early stages, and we're going to be, it'll be up on GitHub, but keep up to date with all the updates. Subscribe to our newsletter on trufflesuite.com. Excited to collaborate with you on it.